Today I'm going to review Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And this movie marks the trilogy. The Ant-Man movies are now trilogy. And this also marks the beginning of the Phase 5 of the MCU. Now, let's go back a little bit to Phase 4. Let's be honest. There were some good movies in there like Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange 2. I thought it was great. And then Wakanda Forever. It was cool, it's alright. But the rest of it was kind of, I'm going to say, a really bad film, you know. But this time around, the Ant-Man Quantumania marks the beginning of a 5th chapter. So this is a kind of an important movie because this movie has a lot of purpose. Now, the first aspect I'm going to get into here is the story. The story of this movie takes entirely on the quantum realm. But the first and the second movie were set in the Earth. All of them. All 2 of them. So this choice made the movie much more interesting. That is a really good part of this movie. They're finally going crazy with this quantum realm. And with this movie, we're finally seeing the quantum realm for the first time. It has been teased many times all these years. And now we get to see it in a film. So this whole movie is taking advantage of that, telling and introducing the quantum realm. And yeah, the 4th phase of the MCU has a lot of problems, including the jokes. The movies in that phase was too jokey. Think of Thor: Love and Thunder. And I really think that this movie doesn't have a lot of jokes. There were some of them sprinkled throughout, but it doesn't bother you. Differentiate this with Thor: Love and Thunder, where it was basically no seriousness in that movie. Not the case in this one, and I'm glad for that. The third thing that I'm really liking about this movie is the introduction of Kang. Jonathan Majors as Kang is perfect. He is perfect casting. You can feel that he's threatening the world. If Ant-Man doesn't stop this, he's going to ruin the multiverse. And that is what this movie is building up to. Because after this, the second appearance of Kang will be Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So it would make sense when Marvel deciding to finally introduce this Kang character right now at the beginning of the phase. His threatening presence. You can feel his threat around the multiverse. Everyone's afraid of him. Everyone. And Ant-Man and his family have to stop him entirely, right on time. Okay, so Ant-Man, the Wasp, they are really good here. They really understand how to launch the comedy and differentiate it with the seriousness of the film. Like I said, this movie is not too jokey, and the jokes that were in this film mostly hit. Now, there are some negatives as well. You see, this movie also introduces us to MODOK for the first time and probably the last time, because he gets killed in this movie way too quick. He could have made a really interesting villain, you know, in the MCU going forward. But in this movie, he's kind of a sideline of a villain. He's not that present in the movie for so long. And by the end of the movie, he gets killed just like that. And I really didn't like that choice. The second thing that I didn't like about the film is the fact that Wasp here is sidelined. She's not doing anything important. She's just beating people up and mostly sidelined to the plot, because the plot focuses on Ant-Man versus Kang and Ant-Man's daughter Cassie. And that brings me to the biggest problem that this movie has, and that is Casey Lang. The way they're writing about her is kind of annoying. She's not helping that much, she's just like a defenseless little hero. And I didn't mean like that is the actress's fault. No, it's just the way that they wrote her, I think, was wrong. She doesn't provide Ant-Man any help with beating Kang, even though they eventually did beat Kang. And at the end, Kang was beaten too easily, I like the fight between Ant-Man and Kang, and how Scott Lang is really dying in that fight. That adds a lot of stakes to the fight and the whole movie. Also, the emotional aspect. Even though I didn't like the relationship, how they imagined the relationship between Ant-Man and his daughter, I really like that this Kang character causes the whole Ant-Man family to have an emotional trauma, because one of the Ant-Man family had a history with Kang, and that adds backstories and a little bit of emotional stakes, which I like. So, how did this movie function as the first movie in the Phase 5? Well, I think it was pretty good, It did a good job introducing Kang into this world in the Phase 5, because he's the big bad of this phase. But the thing that I don't like is the way they introduced Cassie and also introducing MODOK and then killed him instantly. So yes, overall, I don't think this is a bad Marvel movie. No, there are many worse movies than this Ant-Man. And a lot of people may see this movie as a pointless cash grab. And I don't see it that way. This movie has a purpose, an important purpose, introducing the main villain, and it succeeded in that. So yeah, this is overall an okay movie. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Guys, if you want to follow this train to Marvel Phase 5, you have to see this. If you miss out, you will miss out a lot of Kang's backstories, and it is so important. So, 7 out of 10. See you on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching.